when you have your website, I talked about you're trying to convert users when they're on your website. You're trying to get search engines to give you users by ranking highly. The difference with spam to a non-spam site, in the term, I mean, people define this in different ways. The way I'm defining it is that a spam website doesn't actually care about the needs of the other side. They don't care that a user is trying to find their solution. They make it appear that they care. They make it appear like they have a solution, but they don't really. They just want to convert the user. And that might sound weird. It might sound weird that how could you convert the user if you're not actually providing the solution, but it happens all the time, right? You go on a website that you're confused about what's happening and you click on something and all of a sudden, like, well, in a really bad case, maybe you like gave up some personal information or whatever. So that website tricked you, they got what they wanted, and you did not get what you wanted. So like that's spam on the user side of things, and on the search engine side of things, you don't really have high quality content, but you're gaming the system to make search engines think you have high quality content. So that is my definition of spam websites. And yeah, this is an example that somebody clicks on something. Oh, like it seems like I'm going to get this special discount, but only after you click on something and you sign up and give your personal information, and then it's like, no, you didn't get the discount, and they got your information. And so you might think like, oh, well, my website is not spam. I am looking out for the best interest of the user, and I am providing a solution. Why should I care about this? The problem is that search engines are using different algorithms to try to determine if you appear like spam. So sometimes you are not actually a spam website, but a search engine thinks you are because you match some of the characteristics, right? And so how can you avoid that? That's the challenge from a legitimate website. And so one thing is reviewing Google. I mean, this is like super basic, and I feel almost like crazy to bring this up, but like Google has spam policies. The only reason I bring it up is that people don't actually read this. And so they'll do something, they'll do it innocently, okay? Like you're building a web app and you innocently, because of some particular piece of functionality you're trying to build, you have something that ends up being cloaking, what Google has defined as cloaking, where basically you're not showing something to the search engines. You didn't mean to do that, but you did, and now they think you're spam, right? So that is a kind of pitfall that can happen. So it's good to just know the policies, know that you're not accidentally doing something like that. There are a number of tools that help you detect, give your site a ranking of how search engines may rate your site's spamminess. And so these are three of the biggest ones in terms of like search engine optimization tools. There's many others, but these are the top dogs, and would highly recommend any of these. They're all good. One other thing you could do, so this is like one of these things that like I don't think I've seen this like highly recommended in different places, but this is my own personal thing. That do you guys know what screen readers are? Like so that if somebody has a disability and they can't actually read your website, they can use this software to kind of that uses the markup, and it tells the user audibly what is on your website, and you can kind of through verbal cues navigate instead of visual. And not all websites are set up for this. Like you have to actually implement certain parts in your HTML to be able to make it ARIA compliant so that the screen readers can look through it. If your website is accessible, that makes it easier for search engines to crawl it. And that makes it less likely that they'll accidentally think that some parts of your site are spam. So like this has like a double benefit in my mind. It helps people who have disabilities, but it does help you also just give you that extra level of insurance that the search engine crawler can interpret everything on your website and understand it easily. And then the last thing, which again, this is one of my own personal things. I don't think I see a lot of SEOs who kind of recommend this, but I found this extremely useful, is that doing user interviews. So there's many different ways you can do this. You can pay for user interviews, like a site like userinterviews.com, or just get your own users. But in some way, you basically use your own analytical tracking of having users that you record that, like, okay, go through my website, give me feedback, and real users will give you over time with enough data, you'll know whether users think it's spam, and if users think it's spam, then there's a high likelihood that Google might as well at some point. So I do recommend, if you're running into these troubles, to utilize actual real user interviews as well.